Good morning, welcome back, brother and sister Christians. More arguments have been happening on this whole Catholics only worship Allah thing. Now, I have a real issue with this. I really do. I have seen so much bad behaviour from my brother and sister Christians in this area. And who does it benefit exactly? Never ask yourself that while you're burying your head in these massive arguments with Catholics and ortho-pros and anyone else. Who does it serve? Does it serve Jesus to attack Catholics and orthos? Even the Pope? No. It serves only Muslims. So why are we doing it? Ego? Are we trying to be more popular? Are we trying to serve our audience with what they want? Are we being led by the audience? Because that's how it looks to me. It's just not good enough. For instance, a good friend of mine recently said to me, "Do I worship Allah?" Now, I'm not a Catholic, and he knows me very well, and I have always maintained that Allah is Satan, and that I never ever worship Satan or under the name Allah. I've always worshipped Jesus since the first day I came to faith. So why would you ask me, do I worship Allah, unless you are trying to strawman that onto me? Which is something that we all complain that the Catholics and the orthos and the non-denom guys that we have problems with do to us. So it is hypocritical, because we know it's false. Why are we introducing false things into the conversation when we're proclaiming Jesus? You know, we're claiming to be doing the work of Jesus. So from today, I've been doing it for a while, but I'm going to say from today, I am not going to respond to people who have these arguments where they want to attach worship of Satan onto you so that they can strawman your point. You know, they can create a similar point and then beat that one. Because it is dishonest. People that do that are dishonest. It's not good enough. We are supposed to be leaders in Christianity, all of us. Each Christian is supposed to be a leader in his or her own way. You can't lead someone by creating a straw man of their life and then setting fire to it and saying, that was your fault. Which is what we're doing by supposing that all Catholics worship Allah when they don't. We know they don't. Just because the Pope said something which logically means that all Catholics worship Allah because all Muslims do, it doesn't mean each individual Catholic now by default has to be worshipping Allah. And I resent the accusation. Even though the Pope did say those things, even though the doctrines do say those things, it's not like every Catholic follows every doctrine, is it? 2 weeks ago we were saying in videos and streams that they don't do that. So why are we choosing this one to apply to them, to strawman them, so that we can put them in a corner and then beat them with it? That's not Christian. We should not be doing that. It doesn't help anyone, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it as a criticism to Christianity as a whole. But when they then retort about our behaviour and say we are in a bad spirit, we cannot deny it. We have given them a vector to condemn us with the evils of our own words. As we went through in Titus, that is strictly a no. We shouldn't be doing that. It's stupid. Why are we doing it at all? So here's what I think we should do. We should all accept that everyone has differences in faith and their application of doctrines, because faith is not found in doctrines. Right? As we know from the Bible, traditions and commandments are two separate things. Commandments is out of the Bible. Commandments is the basic outline of our faith. Traditions is something men have applied and modelled over time and that change. Commandments never change. So why don't we just stick to the commandments? And then when we're looking at other people's faith, if we're going to attack them only on the things they actually do. Are they doing those commandments? So, for instance, with Catholics, I'm not going to start a big riot, a big argument, by making a video that says Catholics all worship Allah. I'm just not willing to do that. Because I don't believe that all Catholics worship Allah. Very few Catholics worship anything. Now that might sound just as bad as saying they worship Allah. It's not though. The reason I say most Catholics I know don't worship anything is because they pray to whatever they're told to. Which is why they've ended up in this scenario where now they have to pray to what we think is Allah because it's the same God that the Muslims worship. And this has led to this stupid Dawah-led script that they must be worshipping Allah because they got told they were. But we know, if the Pope came out tomorrow and said, oh, you've all got different genders, you're all now the opposite gender, it doesn't mean everyone suddenly has the opposite gender, does it? It means the doctrine suggests that through the Pope, but none of them will do it. They'll still do what they were doing before, and that's what we need to keep in mind here. Catholics are still worshipping the same God they were 6 months ago before this whole trouble started. They haven't suddenly decided that they're going to worship Allah. So let's stop treating them like they have. Because it is false. It's a lie. Whether we'd like to admit that, whether we like to look in the mirror and realise we've made a mistake by going down this alley that's saying that all Catholics worship Allah now, which is false, it is not true. And if we continue down that road, we are purposefully going down a lie. Well, I've not seen one Catholic say that they worship Allah. Yes, we can trap them with logical arguments, with reason and with intelligence into a position where they can't say no to it, logically, because the Pope said that. But they can't say yes to it because they won't say yes to it because they don't. That is not a win. That is a loss for us. We should not be trapping people in a corner with two wrong answers like that. Engineering a position of defeat for our brothers. We know that the scripture says not to do that. So why are we doing it? It's because it's popular at the moment. It's a thing that gets lots of views and lots of likes and lots of people talk about and lots of people pet us on the head for repeating. But it is not Christian, so we should not be doing it. That's the end of this video. Criticise me all you like. It's how I feel and it's how the scripture feels. It's what the scripture says. In fact, I haven't got my Bible to hand. Titus 1, 2 and 3. Letters to James 2. Matthew 10 to 24. Luke's Gospel. Corinthians. And Galatians. Reread all of those bits and then come back and tell me that accusing Catholics of worshipping Allah when you know that they actually don't is anything like what a Christian should be doing. I defy you to find anything in those verses that supports that. You won't. So that's all for now. I hope you've listened. I hope you enjoy hearing this, even though some people are going to feel criticised. And it's like, well, we're Christians. We should be accepting of criticism, not scared of it. We shouldn't run away from criticism and then start building straw men to try and defend ourselves. That is not Christian either. We should have the courage to recognise that we are all sinners. We all make mistakes. And when that happens, rather than going back to the person who made the criticism and burning them, we should go back to God and pray. And read our Bible more and try to improve ourselves before we start criticising them. Because reactive criticism is usually going to be false, isn't it? That's how this whole mess started. Christians have got this arrogance about them now because they're forever arguing with reactive Catholics. And we know, if you make a video that says Catholics have crappy doctrine and their religion sucks, then you invite them on stage, you have insulted them, then you have arrogantly challenged them. They are defending their religion, so they feel compelled to go and defend their religion, even though they know you're going to crap all over them. So you get them under a false pretense of brotherly love and teaching, when that's not what you're doing. You are just using their religion as a poster board for your own. Then you are setting fire to the straw man of, oh, they all worship Allah because the Pope said so. None of them worship Allah. Then when they get annoyed and they insult you, you're saying, oh, Catholics are all rude and dishonest. And it's like, well, what have you just done? You have just made a video that said their religion sucks, please come and defend it. As soon as they appear, you bomb them. You set fire to them. Then when they get angry back at you, you say, oh, they're bad. It's what Muslims do. It's what Muslims do to us. You're doing to the Catholics. Don't do it. It's a mistake. I'm telling you. I'm willing to be criticised by any of you. Being criticised by hypocrites is my wheelhouse. That's what I've done the entire time I've been on YouTube. So if anyone wants to come and defend that behaviour to me, feel free. I'm well up for it. But what we should keep in mind is me arguing with you as a Christian, us arguing with Catholics or Orthos or different denominations. It only serves Satan. It doesn't serve you, me, the rest of the faith. Doesn't serve Jesus. Doesn't serve humanity. It only serves Muslims and Allah and Satan. That's it. So why are we doing it? Let's get our heads together, guys, and realise unity is prescribed in Scripture by Jesus. and the apostles for all believers of the Lord. Now, you might say, because the Pope wrote some document that all Catholics now don't worship Jesus anymore, they now worship Allah. And that may be true in those doctrines. But doctrines are not people. You find me a Catholic who's willing to make a video and go on a statement video to say that he worships Allah now because the Pope told him to. You will not find one. And that's because they don't. So let's stop making a meal of this big straw man of Catholics worshipping Allah when they don't. Focus on the doctrines and the Pope. That's who you should be attacking there. The Pope is the one that said those things. Pope Paul VI in 1965 said those things. You know, Episcopalis Communio in 2018 repeated those things, and Vatican II in whenever it was, 1565 or whenever it was, said those things. Those are doctrines we can attack fairly and honestly and with a Christian spirit, and that's what we should be doing, and not saying this doctrine equals this Catholic, so I'm going to attack him personally. And if you need any evidence for that, like I say, Titus, letters to James 2, Ephesians, Colossians, Galatians, Corinthians, Matthew 10 to 24. And you will find all the evidence you need that attacking doctrines, yes, good, fine. Attacking Catholics for fake straw men, no, bad. If you're doing that, you're not doing a good job. That's the end of this video. So, please leave your loving comments or your hateful diatribes below the video, and I'll respond accordingly. Have a lovely day, God bless you all, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one. Bye now. So that's all for now. Have a good day, everyone. And just keep in mind, these are doctrine arguments. These are not personal arguments. As soon as you make it personal, you have failed as a Christian. So let's not do that. Let's remain loving. God bless you all. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.